So I wanted to speak about something personal today because I've got an operation coming up and it's a varicocele operation. This is like a thing that only men can have because it's related to the scrotum. But I did wanna speak on this because in my life I've never heard anyone speak about this. Like no doctor, no one on the news, no one like close to me. I've never heard it mentioned, even though I think more than 20% of the male population has one that's actively destroying their chances to have children later in life. So what's a varicocele? Well, you know about the veins in your body, right? How your body has these veins. They basically take the blood that no longer has oxygen and they pump it back to the lungs and the heart to be oxygenated again, so that this oxygenated blood can then like give off this oxygen to the muscles and such, right? So you can move and do your things. So the balls, of course, also have such a system, and this system has, so say you've got one of these veins, right? You've got one of these veins. It also has valves into the vein at each step, so that when the blood flows up, it cannot come back down, right? Because that would not be good. And it's needed nowadays because we as humans are now standing up, and the gravity actively works against us in that way, basically pushing the blood down again. Right? So we need a lot of effort. Well, on the left side of your scrotum, these valves and this whole mechanism is a little bit less efficient than normal, because you've got these, because first of all, I think the whole vein is way more steep, is way more like vertical going up. So it has a lot more trouble in the first place than the veins on the right side of your scrotum that is going more at an angle, so it's easier to overcome the gravity. But when the second problem which then happens, which happened to me, is that these valves in the left side then break, right? So they're completely gone. And the body at that point will never be able to overcome the gravity. When you're standing, at least, when you're lying and such, it's no problem. And the blood will then pool near your left nut, right? Basically. And that's not a good thing, mainly because this blood sitting there is relatively warm, right? And the balls are outside the body because because they need to be cooler than the body temperature. So it's warming up your balls, and therefore it actually has some big consequences. Like, it has impact on testosterone. It has impact on your ability to conceive children, like so fertility. It has some other influences on sexual health as well. There's research that has been done on this that's actually very concise and very clear about the effects that this is having on male sexual health. To my surprise, however, this is not even talked about nearly enough. Like, I had never heard of this. And then, you know what happened? Because I'm actually from Holland, from the Netherlands, but I live in Switzerland right now for my job. And so I was looking like, because I'm definitely gonna get this operated, because first of all, it's annoying me, I kind of feel it. Second of all, because of the reasons I told you, right? And so I was thinking, okay, where am I gonna get operated? It might be more expensive here, so I might wanna do it in the Netherlands when I do get back home. And I look on the website. I look on the website of the hospital of my city to see basically what kind of operations they would use, because there's different kind of operations you could choose, and one is better than the other for different reasons. There's always a gold standard, and I of course want to get a gold standard. So I was looking at, okay, what kind of operation are they doing? And I'm looking at this website, and they got a whole page on varicocele, no problem. I was reading it, and I said, well, we do not recommend getting the varicocele operated on because it has no effects on fertility. I was like, what? What are you saying? No effects on fertility? Have you seen the literature? And I mean, I do not understand why this happens, right? And I don't want to make this about male health versus female sexual health at all, but I sometimes think male sexual health is understated, and that this is something to be aware of, and it's a serious thing, right? That even though you might have don't get me wrong, there's always risks involved with getting an operation. You could lose your nut when you get this operated on. But there's also clear negatives to having this blood pool near your nut, right? And for me personally, I mean, I'm gonna get operated. I'm gonna get operated in like 2 to 3 weeks, and I'll give you an update on how it's after, what it's like after, and maybe I'll do like an in-depth before and after symptom-wise and just overall well-being and just hormone-wise and such, right? Maybe some other things too. So yeah, and by the way, if you want to find out if you've got a varicocele, because like I said, it is common, you stand up. You want to do this later in the day, because in the morning, especially when you just wake up, it's often not that profound. It's not really there. Because I remember I went to the hospital, I had to get a checkup, and it was like right in the morning at like 8 o'clock, and I had to be in the hospital. And this man took his what's it called? I think it's called an ultrasound. Yeah. So he did an ultrasound of my body. He didn't see anything because it wasn't even there. It was so early. I was like, man, no, come on, take a look. Let me stand up, please. Take another look. And I mean, to be honest, it wasn't there. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't there. But it was way too early. But it did kind of piss me off, right? Because I was like, man, come on, it's definitely there. And so yeah, what you want to do to test this is later in the day, after you've do it for a while, or maybe after like after a workout, you palpate, so you feel near your left, like the top of your left scrotum. And normally the veins will feel normal. So when I compare left to right, my right side feels like it's just the veins are just going down like this, right? And they're separated, it feels normal. When I feel on my left side, and it's also quite sensitive, I can feel they get all tangled up. They're literally all tangled up. And when you search for Google on how this feels, they describe it like it feels like a bag of worms. And it does kind of feel like this. And you can feel it's all tangled up, and it feels kind of odd, and this might be kind of sensitive. Well, if you feel that, then you've got a varicocele. And there's different grades of varicoceles. So there's grade 1, 2, and 3. So 1, I'm not sure what 1 is, to be honest, but grade 2 is, you can feel it. You can feel it being there. I think grade 1, you can see it on the ultrasound. Grade 2, but you cannot feel it. Grade 2, you can actually feel it when you feel down there. And grade 3, you can literally see it. You don't even have to like touch it. You can just see it just sticking out there, right? And I would honestly say if you've got a grade 2, no, I'm not gonna make any recommendations on if you should get operated or not, because I mean I'm not in a position to do that. I'm not your doctor. But if you've got one, it is definitely worth checking out the research on varicocele, the effects it could have for you, and then also maybe like go to a urologist and see what he says, right? But yeah, like I said, I will get operated on in 2 weeks, and it's my first operation that's also done under anesthesia, like general anesthesia. So I'll be sleeping, and yeah, we're going to see. Like I said, I'll give you an update, and thank you for watching this video.